Mahalo and hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing? Merry Christmas if you're watching this on Christmas. That is when it will be uploaded. But Happy New Year if you're watching it on New Year's, you know. Hey, Merry Easter to those watching this on Easter. Anyway, 10 reasons you will never leave Germany. Like, ever. By Christopher Russell. I love that title. That's very intriguing. I don't know if he's from America. We're going to find out. Check him out. Link down below. Christopher Russell. I love these types of videos. Always fascinating to hear why people move to Germany and don't leave. Let's do it. You know what I want to react to? I want to react to a video, 10 reasons you will never leave America. Like, ever. I just think that would be interesting. Does that type of video even exist?
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another installment of this 5-video German series.
Man.
I decided to do another video outside
Go check out his channel for the full series.
because it's such a beautiful day. The weather is getting really nice, and for one, I like being out in the nice weather. So y'all already know how I feel about Germany, right? I've
No.
made videos on why I think Germany is popular and why I love Germany, but I don't think I've ever made a video on reasons why I would never leave. So for some people, they might be wondering why I won't step foot out of this country and live anywhere else, or even go back to the US where I came. In
Okay, so he is from the US, and damn, this dude really loves Germany. You love to see that.
this video, I'm gonna give you 10 reasons why I will never leave Germany.
All right. It's like MKBHD.
Reason number one, for a lot of us, we come from places that are like hectic and super duper busy. Very busy, where you're just doing something from the moment you wake up to the moment you go back to sleep at night. I come from that kind of place. And
Yeah, man. Indiana, that type of place. You're just going outside. You're going through the cornfields, down the gravel roads, all day, every day. It's super busy.
that's the way that I've always known life to be, until I moved to Germany. Once I moved to Germany, I realized that life could slow down a little bit more without affecting your quality of life. So number one has
Might even improve it.
to be the slowdown of life's pace. I know y'all have heard me say this before, but if that's not a reason to believe that it's true, I don't know what is. If you're on your way to Germany, or if you live in a busy, busy country right now, trust me when I say that you will appreciate a slowdown of life.
I feel like I live in a pretty busy country. I mean, there's busier ones, right? Like Japan, I think the people there, the amount of average like work week as far as hours in Japan, I think is through the roof. But America, of course, pretty busy. I just happen to live in a not very busy part of it. Well, you know, I say that, but in all actuality, farmers, you know, there's a lot of farmers over here in Indiana. They're some of the busiest people. That's not a joke. Yeah, they're not like hustling around the city block. But man, they're busy. They work all day. It's basically their life. You want to talk about live to work farmers. So, in some ways I do live in a busy part of America, just not the typical way.
Once you get to live that way. So that's my number one, getting to enjoy life a little bit more and at a slower pace. Reason number two has to be that this is kind of a traveler's centrum. As I outlined in a video before, Germany is surrounded by 9 other countries. That's 9 countries.
That's actually crazy to think. It's bordered by 9 countries. Just in my head, I just don't think of it like that. Like Poland, France, you know, I'm not going to name them all, okay? Because I couldn't. Austria, obviously. I'm done. But 9, damn.
That you can visit at any time you want, except for now, during the time of the recording of this video here in March. But apart from that, you're able to visit 9 other countries, and that is fabulous.
That's
I find
crazy.
that very, very rewarding to be able to visit other countries and not spend a heck of a whole lot of money getting.
Yeah, that blows my mind. The idea that not only could you just travel to any one of 9 other countries, but that they're speaking a different language in half of them. That's just, like, you're really traveling to a whole different type of culture. And it only takes you a few hours. That's crazy. Because, yeah, here in America, I could travel to Mexico. That's it. Okay? I could go to Canada. That's really not that different. It's different. It's different in interesting ways. But you're not feeling like, oh my God, a whole new culture in Canada.
There, having 9 countries
So you really just have Mexico.
border the country you live in is just a stupendous concept. So reason
And it doesn't take me, just a few hours to get to Mexico. That would take like 12 hours minimum.
number 2 for me is Germany being a traveler centrum. Reason number 3 might be a little more close and personal to me, but I find shopping here not only a little bit cheaper, but a little bit more convenient and also a little bit more ideal for what it is that I need. Back in the States, everything
That's really interesting. I never heard this before, but that's okay. I'm listening.
is about brands. Everything is about that name brand, that high dollar brand, the top of the line this and top of the line that. And that gets old after a while. Anybody that's lived in the US, especially the hot spots, knows what I'm talking about when I say spending money on the top brands gets old after a while. Not only does it break the bank, but you're not really getting anything different or extra than you would if you got the off brands or the less expensive brands. So spending money here in Germany, I don't find it.
I've always been kind of opposed to that whole concept, that materialistic concept. So I've never been the one to buy the brands, the fancy shoes. But man, yeah, that is a thing. Even in rural Indiana, that's still a thing. You not everybody's super rich here, so you're not seeing the Bugattis driving around. But as far as the clothes they wear and the shoes and stuff, and the watches, it's this brand, that brand. I don't care.
Be awesome, but I don't find it to be as bad as where I came from. That's my number 3 reason.
But with that said, sometimes brands indeed do mean quality. Sometimes, you know what I mean? Like with cars and stuff.
Number 4. Reason number 4 is likely another personal one dear to me. But growing up in the places that I grew up in, back in the US, back in the neighborhoods I grew up in, everybody's always looking to prove themselves one way or another. Everybody's looking to get some kind of respect that they feel like they're owed. I don't know for what reason. But after living in Germany, I feel like I'm surrounded by considerably less hotheads. And by that same token, I'm surrounded by considerably less show-offs. So for me, gone are the days where I'm always surrounded by one person who's trying to outdo the next person who's trying to outdo that next person. I'm done with that.
It does feel like kind of like dog eat dog here in America, where it's like a zero-sum game, and everybody's just trying to claw their way to the top and push everybody else down the mountain on their way up. And I guess maybe because of Hollywood and stuff, it really feels like you're either a major success, and if not, you're a failure.
I don't see that in my life nowadays, and I feel cleansed. It's a good thing to not have to deal with one-uppers anymore. Number 5. My number 5 comes from a technical aspect, because technically I do have one of these, but you actually don't exactly need a car living in Germany. With public transportation as good as it is.
But you guys love your cars, so.
And with most villages having everything that you actually need to where.
I'm going to be honest, if I live in a country with the Autobahn, I'm buying a car.
You really don't have to leave and go super far distances if you don't want to. There's really no need to spend lots of money on a vehicle. Now, I know that makes some people's lives just a little bit easier, and it's convenient in some ways, but you don't really need a car here in Germany, in my opinion. And I love that. I love the fact that
That certainly is amazing, though, especially for when you're at a point in your life where you can't afford a car. That's where that can really be a life-changing thing to people who can't afford a car and need. And I understand as I say that, like, just because you don't have a car doesn't mean you can't afford a car. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for those people who couldn't afford a car, like here in America, there's people who can't afford a car. And they're pretty screwed. Like, it really, really, really limits their opportunities. So if the public transport system was such that you didn't need a car and you could still get to that job, that would be a game changer for people.
All went wrong and I ended up without a car, I just don't need one anyway. I could just take to public transportation, and that would be my main way of getting around. I love that about Germany. Number 6. Now go with me here. My number 6 favorite reason why I won't leave Germany? Americans.
Come on.
Hold up. Hold on. Let me explain. The Americans that I meet here and the Americans that choose to live here think like me, okay? They have the mindset that I do. So the way that I feel about Germany is the way that they feel about Germany. Essentially, they get it, okay? I know I threw you for a loop by saying that, but that's what I mean.
You did, but it does make sense. It is interesting how that works. You know, it's kind of like a filter. It's a filter. Nobody's moving to Germany unless they feel a certain way. You know, relative, especially to over here in America, at least if we're talking like politically, you're not getting, you know, a bunch of certain kind of political people moving to Germany. But that's just political, but also, you know, other cultural ways as well. So that makes sense. It's like a filter.
Americans here, I don't have to deal with them having the typical American mindset. So
I'm guessing not a lot of MAGA supporters are moving to Germany, you know, putting a MAGA flag outside their house. That's just a random example, but you know what I mean. Like it is, you know, only certain people move to Germany.
Put off about being
or Europe in general
around other Americans, as I probably would be if they had the mindset that most Americans have before coming here. You get what I'm saying? Number seven for me has to be the multicultural atmosphere and the diversity that Germany has.
Interesting, because that would be a reason a lot of people might like America.
Now I know
at least that used to be a reason. It's definitely still very multicultural, especially if you go to like, you know, New York. There's plenty of multicultural aspects here in America. So I'm actually interested to hear what he has to say here.
On the outside looking in, Germany has kind of the stereotypical outlook of a certain kind of people, but actually Germany is pretty diverse. There are people from not only the surrounding countries, but countries from afar too. Take the US, for example. There are people from all over the US that are now calling Germany their home. There are people from other continents that are now coming here and starting to call this place their home. I know a lot of locals are a little apprehensive about that. But to me, it's still nice to have. I'm not saying I'm welcoming knuckleheads from any.
Yeah, and this video is 4 years old, dude. You thought people were upset about immigration 4 years ago? Well, just so you know, from the future 2024, 2025, I don't think it's any better. Like, I don't think people are, you know, that's a hot button issue.
From any place, not at all. What I'm saying is I like the multiculturalism that's happening when it works and when it makes things better for everybody.
Yeah.
That's what I love. And that's my number 7. Moving on to number 8. Number 8, and I think many people...
I mean, I think it's the same with any country. It's basically you want people moving to your country who love your country, who want to live there. That makes sense. As long as you fit that bill. I say, you know, come on into America in particular.
People coming here are going to like
If you don't love America, then... I mean, why would you come here? Don't come here. Same with Germany. I'm sure you feel that way too. If you don't love Germany, why are you coming here? Don't come here.
Number 8 too. It's the celebrations. I've been to a lot of countries, and so far, I think Germany, to me, has the best celebrations. And that's counting everything, the fests and everything. Weihnachtsfest, Fasching, Oktoberfest, all the fests, all those things that give us the reason to come together and have fun. So
that's awesome. That is such an awesome aspect of Germany.
So far, out of all the places I've been, all the places I've celebrated in, Germany has the best celebrations to me.
That's awesome.
I don't even think that needs any more explanation. And
I like that. I never really heard that put together like that in terms of like celebrations. I like that. The best celebrations, because that's really some of the, you know, reasons to live is for times when we get to celebrate and be together and celebrate. So the fact that you guys do it the best, that's awesome.
Also mentioned that in my very first video that got any traction on YouTube right here. So you can trust me when I say that this
is where in the sky?
A pretty good number 9 for me. Number 9. Now number 9 has
number 9
to be freedom of expression. This one I cannot stress enough. Back in the States, it seems like no matter what you do or what avenue you take or what
I mean, you can already tell I'm on the edge of my seat for this one. He's about to tell me he moved from the US to Germany to get freedom of expression. Woo-hoo. This is spicy. Let's hear it.
Avenue you take or what you decide to do with your life, you're always going to be judged for it. You want to get this weird tattoo of a thumb on your chest? You're going to be judged.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is he talking about in America or in Germany?
What you do or what avenue you take or what you decide to do
Or just in life in general?
with your life, you're always going to be judged for it. You want to get this weird tattoo
By some people.
of a thumb on your chest? You're going to be judged and labeled. You want to go this avenue and do this thing that nobody else has ever done before, but it seems strange to them? You're going to be judged and labeled. You like to wear shoes on your hands? You're going to be judged and labeled.
That's how you know you're doing something right, is when people are judging and labeling you, in my opinion. That's how you know you're breaking the mold a little bit. And guess what? No one ever accomplished their dreams and did something remarkable, got their name in a history book by fitting perfectly into the mold. So, that's a good sign.
If you like to eat cereal out of a hat, judged and labeled. Now I'm being silly, but the point is, it doesn't matter what someone wants to do with their own life, what they feel like they want to do to make themselves happy and satisfied in their own life.
Yeah.
You're going to be judged and labeled for it. And I have to
Okay.
say, here, I'm facing way less of that than I was back in the States.
Fascinating. So a totally different take on, personal expression. Interesting. Obviously there's a distinction he's making between personal expression and freedom of speech. A little bit, we're talking about a little bit of a different thing here. Okay, now I understand more. That's interesting. Okay, people are less judgy. Maybe it's because in Germany, people are just kind of, everybody's a little bit quirky. I don't know. I'm just making. It's like, hey man, you fit right in. You eat cereal out of a hat. So do I. I eat cereal out of a shoe. Welcome to Germany. I don't know. That's awesome.
Y'all can tell
Like I said, being outside the box, good.
me if I'm being blind about that, but in my opinion and from my perspective, it's way less judgmental here than it is in the States. So for my number 9,
Interesting.
and on this list, I couldn't go without mentioning freedom of expression. And here we are at the
Now, I know people, from what I understand, people will judge you in Germany if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. More so than here in America, like jaywalking, for example. But, I mean, if you shouldn't be doing it,
the very last thing on my list, number 10. You see me? You see this? Unpopular. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that
oh. To be frank, I thought he was saying, you see how I don't have a watch on? Unpopular here in Germany. Everybody wears a watch. I need to go back because I'm so stupid sometimes.
at the very last thing on my list, number
All right.
10. You see me? You see this?
Yes. I think that shows just how not racist I am. I'm like, your palm? Or not your palm? What is that? That's your palm. What's this? What's this part of your hand called?
Unpopular. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good way. I'm not on anybody's radar here. Not authorities, not those looking to do harm. No one. I'm totally below the radar. No one cares about me. No one's got their eye on me. Nobody's watching me. And I love it.
That's awesome. Okay. Skin visible, he called it. Color blindness is what. See, now over here in America, this is opening a little bit of a can of worms. But oh well, I don't care. Over here in America, we went through a very strange cultural transition. And at this point, I don't even know where we are in this transition. To be honest, I thought it was utterly stupid. But it used to be that being colorblind, that was kind of the message that like MLK promoted. You know, we all live together. You know, we're all equals on the inside. Treat each other equal. I mean, that sounds great to me. But then, so that was called like being colorblind. Kind of like he's calling it skin visibility. I like that. But at some point it became like, no, that's racist to be colorblind. And that's where, to be honest, things kind of went to shit around that time period. So that sounds pretty good to me. I like the whole, we're all equal on the inside. We all bleed red. There's only one race, the human race. You know, I think that makes sense. Who am I though?
I love it. I don't even think I have to dig into this any further. If you look like me in any other country, namely the US, you know what I'm talking about. You know what kind of attention I'm talking about that's undesirable amongst people like us. So I
Damn.
can't tell you how nice it is to be ignored. I like being ignored.
Yeah, it's kind of like, that's kind of like what I'm saying. And he's talking 4 years ago. I kind of feel like that was kind of the peak of it all. Am I wrong? Am I out of line, guys? I think that was stupid and a huge cultural mistake. I think the skin visibility, color blindness, we're all equal. That sounds great. I like that message. Not the, oh, you're colorblind, you're racist.
Ignore me. So that's my list. 10 reasons why I personally will never leave Germany. But don't leave yet, because the next video is ready for you right here. As promised, you don't even have to leave.
Damn, that was a great video. I really enjoyed that. Check out his channel, link down below. Christopher Russell. I'll see you guys on the flippity floppity. I think in like 2 days. You know what it is.